And yeah, Litecoin has been one of those. Now all of a sudden everybody's like, wait a minute, Litecoin to the moon. Litecoin's going to 1,500, 2,500. I've heard some crazy predictions. Talk to us about it, Paul. What are you thinking on Litecoin?
So Litecoin, for one, I'm the one that came up with that $2,500 prediction. So Litecoin, though, is one of a perfect example of crypto in general, right? So even right now, we're looked at as not most people, maybe not most people, but most vocal people right now. It's everybody coming out of the woodwork to say, ha ha ha, what happened to 100K and bear market's been here, 69s, it's all this stuff, right? Because we got a good week where it's just not exploding to the upside. So everybody right now is so jaded to the idea that that Bitcoin can continue higher, or Ethereum, or even some of the price projections that I have for some of these things, or whoever has for anything. And the only thing that changes that is when the price moves. That's it, right? So Litecoin was dead, not about it, right? If you talked about it, you were a fool. They had that little, that Walmart issue a couple weeks or months ago. Multiple projects have had issues like that in the past, where they've had these like random fake news things come, a scam pump come out of nowhere, and then months later there's they survive it, right? So I'd like to say VeChain was one of those, or some. There was another coin or two that had the same situation, and then they survive it, right? Well, and then Litecoin is a perfect example of all this too, because when I say stuff like Litecoin has a target of $2,500, the next question is, how is that going to happen? How is it going to get to $2,500, right? Well, it takes one announcement at the moment. What happened was Visa or something came out with a debit card the other day. And then aside from that, though, one metaverse game or one partnership or one NFT something, that's the only thing that's got to be mentioned at this point for any of these projects to just hit the ground running, right? Because everybody, as soon as they hear that, that's the buzzword, that's the hype word, and they jump on.
But you're talking 1,200% from where we're at right now.
It's $200. It's like 10. I mean, yeah, it's like 1,000%. Yeah, a 10x move.
That's wild, dude. That's wild, because I've been holding Litecoin.
It's a 12.5x.
I've been holding Litecoin since like $30, bro. And at the beginning, when I got on TikTok and people would ask you, yo, so what are you holding? And I would say Litecoin. They were like, you're holding Litecoin? I was like, yeah, I got Litecoin at $30. And I never thought it would go that high. I thought maybe $600, right? Maybe like double up from what it previously did in 2017. I was like, $600 from 30. That's not a bad trade. I'll hold on to that. And now, and people were just laughing that I was holding Litecoin, and I never really talked about Litecoin a lot. And now, with this price prediction, that's insane. I love it. I mean, honestly, I hope it happens.
And maybe it doesn't, but it's whatever. And to me too, like there's many more opportunities in crypto than even trying to get into like some of these older coins. The only thing about those is that they will probably still be around. But let me give you an example of how I get there, right? Because that's just something to put my money where my mouth is a little bit. So Litecoin, just to kind of finish this little thought process here. First off, zooming into Litecoin, just kind of how we were just talking about, you get these breakouts and retests, right, of support. Essentially, you had this for Litecoin, right? We just had this huge breakout rally up to $300. Then Bitcoin pulled everything back, but coincidentally enough, it pulls it right back to this support level, right? So from here, you got oversold and all the other things, right? Kind of indicating that Litecoin is going to turn around here pretty soon. So I would imagine that we're going to start getting a little rally out of this shortly as well, just like we had been looking at many other things. That is just one little tidbit there. But now looking at Litecoin, this is on a daily time frame. This is the previous high from 2017. Unlike some other coins, this has not broken that all-time high, and in turn had made a multi-year
Adam and Eve.
This is known as the Adam and Eve double bottom, where you get this sort of V-shaped recovery right there, and then you get this rounded off other bottom over there. Super bullish reversal pattern, but once again, this is multi-year. This is the longer the base, the bigger the break is the idea, right? So just with that being said, we haven't seen any fireworks yet, but one thing sparks, and that's all you're going to need. And you break above this $415, $420 line, and you see a similar situation like we just saw, or we're seeing in the market right now. You come down and get that retest, and you're off. Well, let's see what the targets look like, right? So I'm going to take this. Once again, more data, the better, and it's going to be bigger with these bigger drawdowns, right? So here, we're going to take a peek. So 1.618, remember that's my major target zone that not just me, this is many traders come up to this level, right? This is anybody and everybody's major level right there. It's $2,600 is the first major target. Below that is about 1,000. All right. I do not anticipate seeing these two, right? Sometimes these are just YOLO numbers here, right? So, but realistically, I could see this, right? You know, and then from this level, I mean, we're in a position where we have, you know, a bullish setup here. We're breaking out. You know, if the market turns around and we get some steam out of this, for sure. Should I, you know, is this the one I say put all your ducks into or all your eggs in this basket? No, not by any means. There's tons of other opportunity. But if you are holding Litecoin, you know, I think it's got room to run. So that's the reason behind that, right? And then once again, to your point, Nick, it probably is 1,200%, right, to that level. We're $205 right now. So yeah, it's whatever, 1,100, 1,200%. So 11 or 12x gains.
Yeah.
Possible, right? Keyword. Yeah, that's where I get for that. And then realistically, my target so Litecoin was the first coin I've ever gotten in crypto. My target for Litecoin was always 5,000. So will we see that? I wouldn't bet much on that, but you know, I'd be willing to almost bet on this one a little bit, right? The 900 for sure. The 2,500, I think we could see it. And then even a little bit surpassing that, upwards of that 5,000. But once again, that's pipe dream type stuff if you're being realistic. But this is where I get those from.
You know what? There's also, and Miguel, I just shared my screen.
Give me a sec. Before we go on, Eric brings up a great point, right? Talking about Litecoin and being a dead project. Says Litecoin is always on on the banner when they're talking about Bitcoin and Ethereum on the mainstream media, just for the fact that CVO was saying, right, it's just kind of like fathered in there as one of the OG projects, and it's always mentioned. Other people in the comments also mentioned, right? If they do an altcoin ETF, Litecoin is most likely going to be included at some point. Just because it gets thrown in almost anything, Litecoin is always around somehow. Even though there's not a lot of development going on, and like how CVO said about anything metaverse, like I have heard about maybe Litecoin having some type of like gaming situation going on. I think it was called Litecoin Gaming or something like that. I've heard people talk about it on TikTok. So if they do pull off some type of game in the metaverse or play to earn or whatever, right? Like CVO said, that's it. Like that's a perfect excuse for Litecoin to just blast off.
Well, we're already primed and ready. Litecoin is accepted anywhere Visa is, says Litecoin Foundation. And I'm not going to read much of this, but Litecoin now allows its users to make payments anywhere Visa is accepted. The company announced this news via its Twitter page on November 14th. So now it allows its users to make borderless payments anywhere Visa is accepted. Moreover, the peer-to-peer crypto and open source software project has taken to its Twitter to share to its followers that Litecoin, the 14th crypto by market cap, is accepted anywhere Visa is accepted. Let's call a spade here. You've got great TA, right? You're seeing a beautiful setup TA wise, right? So that's fantastic. And then sprinkle some fundamentals on there, and we're rocking and rolling.
We got all the fuel we need to skyrocket, right?
Yeah.
And the hype, man, like that's the thing. You know, we were talking about that earlier. It's the number one thing that ensues the hype is just the price action alone.